Oh, I'm just starting. The house in Fata Morgana. Thanks for the defend as well. How was the rest of your stream? That's a good treat. It was good. Good. So I do not know how this is going to play out, but hopefully it goes well. I have yet to start it. Worst comes to worst. And hello, wait, I think I said hello to Mayu. If not, hello Mayu and hello Anki, so he doesn't yell at me. Alright. Can I just use enter buttons? Oh, you can't see my mouse, my cursor. Enter the mansion. Game crash. Please don't crash. I don't even know how to say it. Novectical? Got you. I got you. Don't tell me how to live my life. There is a house. Okay, if it's like this, I can read this. It sits beyond dark, dense woods. Can I hit enter to go forward? I checked, there were no controls. Like the world fading into view after a dream. That old mansion appears before you. I'm having a good day so far. Can't complain. Without realizing it. Played a lot of Dota, cleaned a lot. You instinctively accept as truth the events unfolding before you. What's going on, Mayu? I got my play shirt on. The house lives in perpetuity, an amalgam of myriad fates and generations. No one knows who first said, "What the fuck is with all the questions?" That the mansion was cursed. Oh, you're fine. I just know that's how reading games. It's either gonna be that or spamming sound effects. But it went well. Having fun. My back hurts a little bit. From I don't know. Build on, I think. I don't know if he just has bad internet. It kind of goes away half the game, but it's hard to carry sometimes. Need attentive people. I'll into town, try to get some food. Are any of these names? Gao. I think we got some good food. The house in Fata Morgana. I've always pronounced that Fata. It's gonna be Fata. So, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Have mercy on me, O Father. The game's supposed to be between 20 and 35 hours. I don't really have a good read on it. And cast their souls into eternal damnation. Doing the blessing here. Definitely gotta pick my religion when I was growing up. I was looking down upon a corpse. Okay, enter works. My own corpse. I'm trying to read fast. I was afflicted with great despair at the sight of it being dragged to the place of my crucifixion. Wait, we really are being crucified? My soul crumbled, and I was wholly extinguished. Indeed, I did once lose everything. However, as I fade into darkness everlasting, I heard a voice calling out to me. It's supposed to be a gothic psychological horror, and so... Bowed once more. You seem upset again now. I'm sorry. Have you tried smiling more often? That no matter how long it may take, how great the obstacles that stand in my way, or what form you may assume, I shall come back for you. Then I must return to that house. So I ask you, please wait for the letter. Again. Until this mutilated body, okay, that was a, arrives there once more. No booperinos. That look like a dog? That looks like a dog fire. Like it's facing forward. If it's back towards you, you know? Your consciousness is wavering like a ship at sea, was slowly drawn back to the surface. With each new breath, feeling gradually return to your fingers. Your fingers. Why do they capitalize you and your so much, Master? You could hear the pattering of rain from somewhere. Master? It looks like a fire dog to me. And the sound of a crackling fire. I definitely can't unsee it right now. Wake up, Master. There's no voice in this game. Wake up. When you came to, you were rocking back and forth in a rocking chair. The room was dimly lit. Aside from the flickering of the fireplace, there were no other illumination. No light shone through the closed windows. There was only the pitter-patter of rain on the glass. It was as though the whole mansion had been enveloped in darkness. Oh, splendid. Maybe you are God. I don't think that highly of myself, Diabetes, but thank you. You have finally awoken. Someone called out to you. I'll stop saying you though. You were about to search the room, but that turned out to be unnecessary. The source of the voice was crouching beside the chair, looking up at you with emerald eyes. Why is she crouching? That is a pretty drawing. And her eyes shut. Morning, Master. Good morning? Wait, do I... Oh. I like the piano thing. Yeah, say good morning. I want to be nice. What is the matter? I don't do hee-hees. Are you still waking up? I don't think she's a... Okay, she's a cat girl. You seem rather drowsy. Come now, you must gather yourself. Though I am glad to hear your voice. I've simply been waiting so long for this moment. In the mansion all by my lonesome, ensuring it was ready for your return, whenever that time may be. Who's shaking, Apex? When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. Oh, I guess I mean, we'll take that as a cattail, I like it. When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time had finally arrived. You were perplexed. This woman, who looked like a maid, seemed to know you, but you had no memory of her. No. What kind of herbal tea would you like to start your day with? Fire? It sounds like keystrokes. I don't think I'm clicking that hard. I have some wonderful chamomile leaves if you would like. Just trying out a visual novel. We've been up to Apex. Or perhaps your tastes have changed since last we met. Tell me, Master, what would you like? Beg your pardon? I allowed myself to get too excited. But I hope you will be sympathetic, Master. I am just utterly elated that I can see you again. Oatmeal for breakfast? That's it! I don't want to play anymore. Give me my English breakfast tea. The woman appeared to be genuinely delighted that you had awoken. But she seemed to lack the energy typical of her age. Or perhaps life was more appropriate word than energy. But the gloom extended beyond the maid. It seemed to encompass the entire mansion. Be nice! The plaster walls illuminated by the fireplace, and the rose engravings in the ebony pillars felt vaguely familiar. And the dog fire! But a crushing sense of claustrophobia overpowered that familiarity. It seemed as though the house wasn't interested in accepting you just yet. Oh my, do you not know who I am? Do you not know who you are either? Quite the predicament. If you cannot remember who you are, then who am I to serve? The woman's face was pale, almost as though she... chill ran down your spine. You are the master of this house. Though it would seem you have no memories of such. The dilemma. I know not who you are. Or if you know not who you are, then you are no different than a stranger to me, no? Her eyes are very strong. Indeed, you have returned. But from where? What was the ninja cat girl beehole game we played in? Then I cannot say. Then how about this? The servant of this mansion as such, I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, master. I will surely allow you to recall who you are. Freshly awakened gears in your head began to turn as you mulled this over. Yeah, what was the nin? Might have been like Neko Nin was something simple. The maid had called you the master of this house. Without a single mirror in the room, you had no way of seeing what you looked like. Unable to decide, you reflexively nodded. Let us be off then, and fear not, I merely entreat you not to let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. It is Neko Nin. See, I was close. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. I actually had to play that for the first half an hour, I think it was, to get to the nudity scene, to see whether or not I had the censored version or uncensored version. And it turned out to be the uncensored one, so I had to get a different Steam version of it. Because yeah, I can't be showing cat beeholes on, well, cat girl beeholes on screen. Your hand in hers, you followed the maid's lead through the hall. The air within the mansion was oppressive, as though a black miasma hovered within. Oh, look at the picture I usually am reading. The air within the mansion was oppressive, as though the house was bleak and barren, hardly a trace of floor to be found. We came across an open window. When we were doing that. One of us. Beyond it lay nothing but darkness, neither sunlight nor moonlight could be seen. There were no chirping birds, no rustling grass, no signs of life at all. Everything that would normally give color to the world had vanished entirely. The only other presence was that of the maid. Following her lead, you proceeded through the mansion. Here's the Fata thing. There we go. After some time, you arrived at a double door. The glass within shattered. The door, once pure white, had long since faded into a dull gray. It appeared to lead to the back of the garden. You could hear children laughing on the other side. Though it is in the state you now see it, a beautiful, beautiful garden once lay beyond these doors. The owner of the time enjoyed gathering rare species of rose from all across the world. At its grandest, it seemed that every flower was in constant competition for the most majestic bloom. Would you like to see the wonderful era of splendor and prosperity? I wish I could use a controller with this. I probably could just program my controller with the enter button. I very much hope it is to your liking, master. The maid opened the doors to the back garden. A sudden gust of wind brushed across your face, forcing you to close your eyes as you followed the maid out the doors. See, the capitalization is a little strange, though, to read, isn't it? Because you really do want to stress things when they capitalize them. I just want to hook up my controller real quick. Oh, the Neko game was kind of shitty, yeah. We played much better games with much nicer b-holes shown. Whoa! Wait, did that work?
I'll fight all you bitches today.
Oh, okay, it does work with a controller. Why didn't you just tell me that then? When you next opened your eyes, the world was no longer blanketed in shadows. Oh yeah, we do have to finish Sabbath of the Witch. That was actually a decent one. We stopped playing that. Oh, we lost the save. The forced door. 1603. Move the cursor to the bottom right corner of the screen to display the in-game menu. You save and load to progress and change the set. Okay. Bottom right. I got you, I'm on to it. The mansion had an alluring air of beauty about it in that era. It was almost like something out of a fairy tale. Yes. How do I go back? What's A mean? Okay, just right click it to go there. The mansion had an alluring beam, blah blah blah, was something out of a fairy tale. This period of history could perhaps be described as a symphony of destruction, as cumbersome principles of old came crashing down. Freed from the day-to-day oppression of these antiquated precepts, the people seem to hark back to the more poetic, expressive ways of the old. Hold on, let me turn this. Even the church, which had maintained authority throughout the Middle Ages, embracing the changing times, adopting the culture's flowing sense of aesthetic. War would break out not 20 years from then, plucking the ripened era from the tree of history. That is no concern to us now. At the time, it was still what people refer to as the Golden Age, a period of furor for all who were there. I hope to God we don't start using 1600s, 17, all those hundreds words. Now let us take a slight detour. No, we will not be changing locations. This is a tale about the mansion, from beginning to end. We will, however, be moving through time. Say, about 8 years into the past. A very wealthy family lived in this house then. The mother and father, brother and sister all had distinctive, beautiful flaxen hair. I was always enamored by their hair. DG Online. What's going on? How you doing, buddy? Raid and dip? Okay. I was nice enough to raid... I guess I raided you exactly as you were hosting your charity thing yesterday. Oh, 2 days ago it was, sorry. But it happens. How was your stream? Thanks for the shoutouts, by the way. And the defend. I was always enamored by their hair. By contrast, mine is the color of a wet crow. See, there I am, standing around, looking rather a fool. Happy back then. And what reason did I not to be afforded the opportunity to attend such a beautiful home? Thank you, Mechanic Season. Ian, how you doing? Thank you. Oh yeah, no problem. I just assumed you were going to be up and going around, you know? What's going on, Hive? It happens. No problem. I hope that ended up going nice for you. So I poured my heart into serving that family. Listen closely, if you would. That soft, fleeting sound that could only be a young girl singing. Can you hear it? I'm not going to do the lullabies. Just assume they're there. The girl you see, carefully picking crimson roses and singing like a songbird, was called Nellie. Come on, it's going to be tough to take her seriously if her name is Nellie. Though young, she sang with elegance. Nellie was it's getting hot in here. Nellie was deeply fond of the house's garden, and she would often spend her afternoons there. Gorgeous roses gathered from all across the world bloomed in the garden. So far, so good, I think. I just started this visual novel. I don't know too much about it, and I generally don't do too well with visual novels on stream. So we'll see how it plays out. They were given the utmost care and even had their thorns removed. So young Nellie would not hurt herself naturally. Not sure what happened. If it was a follow thank you. I had my follow things turned off from the whole hotspot thing, you know? The light brown-haired girl carefully plucked petals from the roses, gathering them up as she sang. Her voice was like music played by fairies. Nay, the sight of her was like an angel descended from heaven. I appreciate it, no matter what. Oh dear, please don't look at me like that. I admit I was being rather fanciful. What is a woman if not fanciful? Little bird, singing night and day. For your little birdie heart, your woes away. Pretty flowers all around the little birds. And even when the sun comes up... Oh, dearest Mel? Okay. Wait, I forgot what comes next. Is our name Mel? Are you listening? Okay, his name is Mel. Michael, is that a typo? Nellie was, as a matter of fact, not the only visitor to the rose garden that day. It always came with her older brother Mel. We have Nell and Mel. I can remember this. The young siblings were inseparable. Mel adored his little sister, who in turn pined for his attention. To say the two innocent children cut him together, not yet shackled by the fear of the future, was truly heartwarming. That day, Mel was sitting in the shade of a tree reading a book. As I am sure you are aware, in their time, books could not yet be mass-produced. When did Gutenberg? That's 1600? What he was reading had been copied by a scribe. I presume he had borrowed it from the church. The book, having passed through many hands over many years, was visibly worn. I suppose that just speaks to its importance. It was, in fact, a Latin grammar textbook he was reading. Mel was a clever boy. He had attended church from a very young age, where a priest would instruct him in Latin grammar. Now, at that time, I believe he was capable of reading even advanced texts. Oh, dearest Mel, please. The young girl approached her brother, who was consumed by the text. In her hand, she carried a large pile of rose petals. Though his sister's shadow overlapped with the trees, the boy still did not notice. So Nellie puffed her cheeks, thrust out her slender arms, and let the petals fall. Look, your head is covered in roses, Mel. Oh, this is truly a horror movie. Oh, Nellie, you got petals on the book. It was actually kind of funny. My little sister mentioned Nellie the one time. I'm like, the dude with the band-aid on his cheek? She's like, what are you talking about? He's a rapper, Ken. Apparently he didn't go over that band-aid cheek thing after that. I didn't know this. Oh, Nellie, you got petals on the book. This isn't mine. I can't afford to let it get dirty. It's your fault, dearest Mel. I tried to get your attention. Besides, flowers don't get a book dirty. I must raise the white flag. How did my little lady find herself such a sharp wit? I'm waiting for you, dearest Mel. Waited and waited. You didn't so much as glance at me. I'll be an adult by the time you're done reading that book. Oh, that's soon?
I'll fight all you bitches today.
That's soon. Mother says girls grow up fast. She may be right. In that case, we should do something together before you're all grown up. Or you won't play with me any longer once you become an adult. That's not true. I'll still play with you even when I am a grown-up. But grown-ups don't play, Nellie. Fine. I'll stay a child forever, then. Didn't you just say you were about to grow up? So mean, Mel. I'm sorry. Please don't pout, my little lady. How about this? To make it up to you, I'll play whatever you want today. I don't know why this song reminds me of Xenogears. Don't they have a weird... Was this the Nissan song? Really? Do you mean it? I want to play make-believe. Make-believe? I will be a princess taken captive by an evil kingdom, and you, dearest Mel, will be my valiant knight. And then you turn into a prince and you rescue me. Knight can become a prince? Impressive. They can. Knights and princes both have to be charming, so of course they can. Which is why it must be you, dearest Mel. Oh, that's a lot of twos. No one can be my prince or my knight. Thank you for letting me know. I gotta be careful. Clicking on this will make it go forward. Well, he may have appeared outwardly embarrassed, as his rose-cheeked sister proclaimed proudly. I'm certain he was smiling on the inside. For a few moments, he meekly knelt, bringing himself to eye level with Nellie and gently stroking her soft hair. As far as I know, this doesn't get weird like that, so I'm going to try not to get ruined by the internet and all that jazz, you know? Alright then. You're my princess, Nellie. Not just anyone's princess, not dearest Mel, but yours alone. So, don't be anyone else's princess but mine, okay? Nellie. His night princess is quite the fawner. Is that bad? Does that make you dislike me? Not at all. I'm proud to have you as my little sister, Nellie. You mean more to me than anything in the world, my dear princess. I love you, dearest Mel. Always be my prince forever and ever. Mood quite improved. Nellie began humming the melody of the song she had forgotten the lyrics to. Pulling the skirt of her dress out from her body, the young girl pranced about the rose garden. I will say, though, like whenever they start throwing kids into the mix and horrors, it's usually friggin' scary. Mel, his eyes on her back, gave a little shrug. Oh, Nellie, don't come crying to me if you trip running like that. Well, Mel was not entirely disapproving of his sister's excitement. Carefully brushed aside the petals on his book. Set it in the shade of the tree and began chasing after Nellie. They were picturesque siblings, brimming with hope, and at this time in their lives there was nothing to jeopardize that hope. Would it not be wonderful if children could stay children forever, Master? As I see it, though, the pleasant and gentle times in our lives have value because they come to an end. Wouldn't you agree? Time can use the foe impartial without exception. And as such, everyone's childhood comes to an end. Be that as it may, does time also flow at the same speed for each individual? Now let us take a trip down the river of time. I'd be very much delighted if we could remain at this point in time, but unfortunately we cannot. Please, do not let go of my hand. I think I'll probably save after all these little bits. That seems right. I'll be on my way then. That girl of spooky past. Oh, you usually stay for longer. Is it a bell? It's just like a little bell you hear on her neck. Yes, I have an errand to run today. Thank you for your time as always. Would you like the book back sometime next week? Next week or the week after. Hold on to it as long as you'd like. But surely there are others who would want to use it. I'm not as sharp as you, Mel. Put yourself in my shoes and you'll understand. I want to give you any advantage you can get. Oh, do you not believe me? I believe you, Father. I mean to do whatever I can not to disappoint you. That's the spirit. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. What's going on, Doc? I'm proud to have you as my pupil. Yes, and Mel, do consider what we were talking about. Going to university? Indeed. If you do, I can introduce you to some accomplished instructors. There's very little left for me to teach you, and I believe you would make a fine priest. It's an honorable thing, Mel, to devote yourself to the service of the Lord. I'll give it some thought. If you'll excuse me then. See you again. Our doors are always open. Farewell. Whether it's in the service of God or in the service of the church, it is an honorable profession. With theology, I wouldn't mind attending university, but I'm not sure. I'd like to do something different, something more befitting of the times. As for what, though, I'm stumped. I need to make up my mind soon. If I drag my feet for too long, even my father is liable to grow impatient. See me. Like dark dreams don't die in deadly premonition. Young sire, blessed young sire, alms for the poor. Beggar. If I'm not mistaken, he's been outside the church since last week. He shakes his head. You get the glimpse of his forehead under his hood. Completely bald. Buy yourself some bread with it. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless your soul. Thanks. Lord. You're not religious? Oh no. They are rather strange names of a random character. This kind of there. Em and I read a weird visual novel. Our adult visual novel that was like that. The cat girl one. It was actually pretty good. The ending was a little weird, but now he's gonna be cross if I don't hurry home. First instance, it looks like it's going to rain. But they at least try, because most of them are just showing boobs. It's like, Master? Oh, thank goodness. What's it called? Oh, thank goodness. You appear to have a firm grasp on your conscience. It might have been that. I think it had monster in the name. I was afraid you had accidentally let go of my hand. Now, Master, this is a period of time I truly wish to show you. The boy reading in the rose garden, now a fine young man. Nonetheless, he still bore the same gentle eyes as before, and he would from time to time show remnants of an innocent young boy. He was, in his own mind, still making the transition into adulthood, I suspect. Mel frequently visited church, on Sundays to participate in Mass, of course, but more often to be tutored by the priest. In addition, he also attended a private school run by an eminent marquis. Though it was not a school where students had desks and sat in rows, they studied in the marquis's estate. Secondary and higher education was not the same as it is today, and Mel was considered university. Sweetest monster. Okay, well, it was something like that. Perfect. The priest wanted to recruit him to the church, but Mel was having difficulty deciding what he should do. How long was that one? Was that like was that like 5 or 6 hours? Or did we do that in one night? That he had such a choice is envious, is it not? Good afternoon. Why does the drawing style remind me of, like, who's the company who does the Dragon's Crown? Is it Dragon's Crown? Good afternoon. I'm here to pick up my order. Is it ready? Ready and waiting, young Master Rhodes. Don't call me young Master. I beg your pardon? It seemed to get my head out of the past. Your order's right here, sir. Mostly just the characters, I wouldn't say the backgrounds, but I guess they didn't really focus too much on the backgrounds from what I remember. No one stopped at a jewelry store in the center of the town on his way back from the church. Well, thanks for popping in, I appreciate the raid. The building was both a workshop and a storefront, and the nobles of the area were deeply fond of the master's wares. He was so skilled even the royal family had commissioned work from him. As a matter of fact, the wooden sign out front was engraved with a replica of the piece of his jewelry said to be on display in the palace. As arts flourished in this golden age, the number of shops selling luxurious items such as jewelry rose in kind. However, the clientele of these shops comprised a very narrow range of people. May I have a look? Oh, I don't remember the backgrounds. They were very watery. Or watercoloring. I actually really enjoyed that game, actually. A ton. Of course, of course. I gotta play as a dwarf, I gotta throw things, I gotta throw a rock. Good. It came out just as I had hoped. Splendid work. I cannot afford to disappoint a loyal customer like yourself. An admirable work ethic. I'm sure she'll love it. Fine lad, young master. A boy back home could do well to learn a thing or two from you. Every man ought to show a woman some... whatever. Cordiality? You know, I gotta look that up. Because it's always cordial, but how do you pronounce that? Hold on. Why is this a minute long?
Cordiality.
Cordiality? I don't trust that.
We are looking at how to...
Just say the word.
Cordiality.
Cordiality. I like that one better. That's what I'm gonna say. Going home to a cold fireplace is a sad thing indeed. Again, please don't call me young master. My apologies. I'll take this and be on my way then. Good day. If you find yourself in need of aught else, just let me know. I'll make any jewelry you ask for. Come to me, and your sweetheart's day will be sure as Maid. I guarantee the two of you will have all sorts of fun when you give it to her. But please, I don't have a sweetheart. Huh? Oh, that's a surprise. I'm sure many girls are vying for your hand too, young Master Rhodes. A fine family, good looks, charming. Your future's all but... I'll be on my way, then. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Good day, come by any time. Goodness. Maybe I'll say I want to study abroad or something. Patient as my father may be, that would certainly anger him. I can hear it now. You're wasting your God-given talents, boy. I could renounce my name and rank and go somewhere far away. Oh, that sounds like the kind of plan Nellie would come up with. Yeah, but Dragon Scout was a lot of fun. I can't say I remember any of the story, if there even is one, but it was worth playing, and it was kind of a fun beat-em-up gear grinding game. As he drew closer to the mansion, the rich fragrance of roses grew more prominent, especially with a bunch of buddies, because I think it hosted 4 players. Over time, this distinctive scent had led visitors to refer to the house as a Rose Manor. Oh, it had great plot. It was also probably a play on the flaxen-haired family's last name, Rhodes, which you heard the owner of the jewelry store say just moments earlier. The mansion looked quite differently than it does now, no? No thickets of ivy covering the walls, no round broken doors to be found. I wonder what the Rhodes family would think if they saw the house in its present tragic condition. At sight of their abundantly blooming roses, a veritable symbol of prosperity, long since withered and turned into soil. My apologies. Got a little sentimental there. Let's forget for a moment about our own time. Suppose I stayed out a little too long. Oh well. The sun still shines high in the sky. I'm sure it's... Dearest, dearest Mel, what took you so long? Whatever have you been? Wherever have you been? I've been waiting forever. Aw. Nellie? You're not in the house. Nope. You were taking so long I had to wait by the gate. You didn't even notice me at all. Is there any way to treat a lady? All that studying's got your head stuck up in the clouds. No, it hasn't, really. Also, you're heavy. Oh, could you please get off my back? Heavy? I've been gradually reducing the amount of sweets I eat, and I love sweets, to maintain my figure for a new dress, and you call me heavy? I didn't catch that. He meant to say thick. They didn't have that word back then for that meaning, okay? I didn't catch that. Were you saying a tongue twister? You're such a dimwit, Mel. Jerk, blockhead, weakling. Okay, calm down, Nellie. And obnoxious to boot. Whatever happened to a delightful little girl who was once my sister? Probably throw a fit if I said that out loud. Could you really be outside, Nellie? You are the star of today's event. It's fine. God, you get 2 more of those, Ghost. They can call it a birthday party, but I know it's just about fraternizing. It's obvious what Father's true motives are. We gather in a bunch of boys from good families to look for someone to marry me off to. I have no interest in that at all. I'll be like that, Nellie. We're all here for you. At least enjoy what you can of the party. I guess. Besides, not completely terrible. Look at this, dearest Mel. What do you think? What do I think? Probably her dress. About what? About what? Mel, my new dress. It arrived. I'm wearing it. He's young. Young guys are... How could you not notice? I did notice. It was I hadn't seen before. So many dresses, Nellie. But this is the dress I had made just for today. Look at the colors. They're so pretty. It's a work of a renowned dyer. And his belt is just lovely. It is really nice. I don't know if I can get the thing off. I could show it's a butterfly belt. It's cute. You see how it comes together to form a butterfly? Oh, I'm just absolutely in love with it. I'll be wearing this dress for a while to come. So tell me, what do you think? Does it look good on me? Yeah, it does. It's pretty. In some ways, I guess she still is a delightful little girl. Oh, dearest Mel, I love you. Oh, don't jump at me like that. My, you dropped something. And what do we have here? Wait, hold on, no, you can't have that yet. Is it a present? Give it back. I was going to give that to you later. I knew it. It's for me, and just what could it be? Don't open it. What's the big deal? It's going to be mine soon anyway, isn't it? I love it. A rose necklace. And this design, it's from the jeweler the royal family uses. Oh, my dearest Mel, you had this made just for me? Oh, jeez. Defeats the purpose if you open it before the party. Happiness is always better sooner rather than later, Mel. I think I'll put on right away. Here, how does it look? It looks lovely. My prince is still the sweetest in all the land. Don't make such weird noises. Oh, but why not? Wait, did you say make not weird noises? Yeah. What was she making weird noises with? A prince always knows exactly what his princess wants. And this princess wants some rose jewelry to go with her new dress. Understand? You sure don't have it easy playing your prince, Nelly. Might be about time you found a new one. Prince is a prince because you can't just find one standing on the street corner. If you want to retire, dearest Mel, you're going to have to wait another 10 years. For 50 bucks, I'll be your prince. Let's go! I meant that as in general, not to the rage girl here. That's a long time. Or if you find yourself a new princess. I'm not so... You're about as romantic as a rock, dearest Mel. Worry not, your adorable sister will always be your princess. What could you want? Are you really allowed to be the judge of that? I mean more to you than any other girl in the world, do I not? That makes me your perfect princess. Hey, what's with this? What's with that laugh and it'll all be over soon laugh? He's telling me I mean more than anyone to you. Yes, you. Anyone in the world, my beloved baby sister. Take good care of the neck. Thank you, my dearest Mel. Well, if you're happy with it, then so am I. Very welcome. Now back into the house with you. Can't have a party without the guest of honor. Do you know if anyone is here yet? Nope. Imagine they'll be here soon, though. Were you down at the church again, Mel? Yeah, there was something I didn't know how to translate, so I went to look it up. So diligent. Can't say I don't really like the priest there, personally. Actually, I feel the same way. What? Really? Why? Well, you know, I have my reason. Even you don't always like the priest, huh? Let's skip Mass on Sunday, then. We can go play. No skipping church. As grew the brother, so too did the sister. That day, Nellie would be turning 14 and Mel, 3 years her senior, was 17. Grown eyes. You know just how much she has changed. She was always a cute little girl, and she grew into an even more beautiful young woman. When she was only 14, she was well on her way to becoming a fine lady. As for her character, well... a girl like that has her own charms. Would you not say? On the river of time, the two siblings matured into healthy young adults. However, the relationship did not change in the slightest. She was very much attached to her brother, and as much as Mel complained, he still cared deeply for us. Around the time the sun had begun to set, carriages started lining up outside as well-dressed aristocrats made their way into the house. As Nellie had suspected, the majority of them were boys. Yes, I understand. You don't need to say anything more. Rose Manor, right? Okay, we'll go together. Me? Alone? Don't make me. The inhabitants of Rose Manor are surely living quite contented lives. I'm sure they don't remember a thing. What are you going to be worried about? What do you mean coming up? Like we're standing up for something? Again, this game, even on Twitch, is under horror. So... we'll see. The room with the fireplace was always kept in pristine condition so that they could entertain guests at any time. Doesn't look like a doggo fire, though. Walls colorfully decorated with tapestries and stained glass windows gave testament to their great fortune. The servants' first assignment every morning was to clean this room. Pitchers, silver plates, and silverware were polished to shine so they could be proudly put on use at a moment's notice. And for events like their daughter's birthday, the room served an even more important role. The table's tops were removable, so they had ordered new tabletops with designs made especially for this occasion. Once the banquet had drawn to a close, tables speckled with half-empty wine glasses and leftover candied fruits were moved off to the side to make room for, of course, the festivities. Good evening, Lady Nellie. Looking particularly lovely today. Nellie, I had these jewels cut just for you. Let me have this dance, won't you? What's the matter, Nellie? You look exhausted. These are pretty good. Want one? I know you like sweets. They're apples, candied in rock sugar, I think. Disappoint me, dearest Mel. What do you think is the matter? They just keep coming. It never ends. It's driving me up the wall. Everyone says they're being the same lines they've been taught. They all think pretty jewels and requests to dance are enough to make a girl swoon. I think that is true for you, Nellie. So, why is she disappointed with me? I think I'm done with birthday parties after this year. We'll probably throw an even bigger one next year. Huh? Why? Well, you know, you're about that age, Nellie. We are a reasonably distinguished family. There are a number of different houses that would like to have connections with us. So, what you're saying is do it for the family? Oh, super proudy, no. No, that's not. I won't date or marry anyone. I have no interest in being used as a pawn in their inter-family politics. Pawn? I wouldn't go that far. And I'm sure Father wants to let you choose yourself. You know, someone you actually love. Love? I never thought I would hear you talking about love, dearest Mel. You don't even understand what makes Shakespeare's plays so beautiful, and you're talking about love? You fell asleep during Romeo and Juliet, and you're talking about love? I mean, to be fair, Romeo and Juliet's a pretty awful love story. We went all the way out to the Globe Theater, too. Pardon me for being ignorant when it comes to romance and the arts. A couple kids fall in love in like 3 days and the family's dead? Come on, that's not good. But you're not, Nellie. Shakespeare's make-believe stories make you cry like a baby. Anyone would cry at that. It'd be crazy to sleep through it. That's not what I'm saying. Someone as emotionally vibrant as you, Nellie, will have no problem finding love. Ah, dearest Mel. We should dance. Wait, Nellie, could I have this? Let's dance, dearest Mel. What? Me? Wait up. Come on, I really like this song. Quit pulling on me, Nellie. What's the point of us dancing? We're siblings. Mother and father are staring daggers at us. No matter. What day is it today, dearest Mel? Your birthday? Exactly. So I can do what I want. Damn right. I like Nellie now. Now attend to your princess as a proper prince should. How did I get myself into this? It's not the stepbrother, it's the real brother. Nellie scared fluttered along with her, and she stepped in time to the music. He was not only a skilled singer, but a skilled dancer as well. Mel, on the other hand, fumbled over his own feet trying to keep up. One would be hard-pressed to describe his dance ability as good, even as flattery. Though boys of his pedigree were taught to dance as part of their etiquette lessons, himself more being dragged around by his sister. He could hardly be said to be attending to her. This is humiliating. Because his parents had been hands-off in raising him, Marcy giving him free rein to study and learn what he pleased, Mel looked like a tangled-up marionette. And throughout the hall, he could hear giggling, uncomfortable chuckling, and people coughing to disguise their laughter. Come now, dearest Mel. This is the best you can manage. What are you going to do when you find a girl that catches your eye? I won't, so it doesn't matter. Follow my lead, Mel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nellie alone enjoyed her time dancing with her brother, and quite thoroughly at that. It did not matter to her that he moved awkwardly or that the guests were giving them cold stares. Their parents who first cracked under the pressure. Just as their father was about to give an exaggerated cough and stop the music, a ruckus suddenly swelled up near the entrance. Well, you're down to... Wait, did I say 3 or 2? 2 or 3. You got 2. What could that be? Who knows? Whatever's going on, I've been spared. The music came to a stop and the party guests began bustling. The siblings' father spoke up sternly above the noise in order to quell the spreading commotion. He ordered the servants to investigate, had the music restarted, and gave a short apology for the interruption and set the party back on course. I went to go check on the entrance of the other servants, as I recall. Oh my, why are you looking at me like that? These are not my memories, but those which dwell within the mansion. Do you think we should follow what happens next from my perspective, then? That is not what confused you? Well, your question shall be answered in time. In time. Let's return to our tale. Though the party had fallen still for a moment, their father's decisive actions restored the guests' festive mood in short order. It was not, by any means, the commotion that caused the ball to conclude earlier than planned. Oh dear, I hear thunder. It was rather loud, too. Sounds like we're having quite the storm brewing. They lived in a country where the weather was nothing if not unpredictable. Rain was frequent occurrence there. The stretches of time with clear skies grew longer as summer approached, but the weather was still somewhat unstable on the cusp of the 2 seasons. They had a strong wind that night as well, which turned the raindrops into little spears on the window.
Struggle bus over here. Beep beep.
For the party to continue on any longer, no one would be able to go home. Although their father was quite concerned that Nellie had not got on with any of the aristocrat boys, he decided to cut the festivities short. Thank goodness it ended early. How lucky I am. See, a blessing for always being such a good girl. I'm not sure having your own birthday party cut short counts as lucky. It was no fun. Can't help it if I'm not enjoying myself. For heaven's sake, Arthur was there. I have no interest in dancing with that dunce. Arthur, who's that again? Someone who was here? Unbelievable. You don't remember anything, do you, dearest Mel? She's so mad all the time. He came over to play a few times when we were little. He's covered in gross freckles and he's a huge jerk. Except my hair looked like the color of fallen leaves. Fallen leaves! Just thinking about that ugly smirk has me fuming. He carries a sword, I'm not too sure it goes, maybe. And yet he acts like nothing happened, always staring at a lake. He even calls me Lady Nellie, for goodness sake. Are you listening, dearest Mel? I'm listening, I'm listening. The ruckus was earlier. You weren't listening, were you? Who cares about that? Sorry, but aren't you curious? I probably wasn't another guess, at least. Maybe a cat snuck in. You think so? Ew. Enough about that. Would you like to play cards in my room, dearest Mel? Seriously, I'm exhausted. It's not even that late. Fuck. Something kinda off. Cat? Not bad, it only took her 17 rub-rubs to get that done. Thanks for letting me know. I want to go check. Come on, hurry up. Hold on. Don't need to drag me, Nellie. My birthday isn't over yet, so you're not done attending to me. Oh, Nellie. Hold on, let's save this thing. A lot of reading in this visual novel. The rain just won't let up. I can't sleep. Wonder what the commotion earlier was about. Oh, for goodness sake. All the storm's fault. That's why I can't sleep. I'm just fretting over nothing. I'm sure Nellie was right. It was just a cat. Maybe a dog. I can't sleep. I hardly ever have this much trouble going to sleep. What's feeling me, I wonder? Sneeze for me. It's not quite foreboding. Walking around the house at this time of night isn't going to help anything. I'm not going to fall asleep just lying here. I hate all those horses just ringing the doorbells and running away. A couple hoof prints on the door. The only sounds that could be heard in the dark corridors were the sharp pitter-patter of the rain, footsteps, and his breathing. How many times do I have to say pitter-patter? Though he was intimately familiar with the layout of this house, that night the hallways felt like an inn, veiled in shadows. No moonlight shone through the windows, so he naturally found himself moving cautiously, despite being in a resident. I had to take a quick break. I needed something to drink. Music going. So far, this is okay. It's a lot of 5s and 6s and 2s. Huh. Alright, I'll be right back. Excuse me.
God.
Aw, yeah. Come on, Wolf. Yep, definitely has the suplex deer. There's a suplex child, too. Perfect. No moonlight shone through the windows, so he naturally found himself moving cautiously, despite being in his own residence. The palm of his hand pressed up against the chilly wall, he put one foot in front of the other. But to where was he supposed to head? Mel, of course, had no way of answering that question himself. Not too bad. Actually, now that you mention that, hold on. We're, unpacked a couple boxes and found actually Em and I watched Tekken, which I have it's one of the few white DVDs I know of, or white DVDs, one of the white VHSs. I actually have my Street Fighter one. Old as hell. I don't know why my mom saved them, but she did. Where were we supposed to head? Mel, of course, had no way of answering that question himself. If he had anything, it was guidance from above. The path to his destination went by the flashes of lightning. Oh, I know, I was like that, and I think I had Ninja Scrolls over there as well, which had violence and boobies. Or perhaps there was something else leading him along. Billy progressed with a fair bit of hesitation in his step. Mel was slowly but surely drawing nearer to one room in particular. He made his way through the seemingly endless halls. Past the room, its fireplace long since cooled. Actually, I have Vampire Hunter D and Akira the High Kick? I didn't know anyone else really... No, that's... Is Akira the High Kick? Who's the High Kick one? No, because Akira was something else. I'm getting the wrong one. Yami the High Kick? Yeah, the motor's in another corridor. What the hell was the High Kick one? And then stopped outside an Abigail's bed chamber. Is that a noun? I don't know. Dim glow of a lamp spilled through the cracks in the door. A gust of wind is not necessary to make a flame flicker. A person's movements or vibrations in the air from someone speaking, the slightest of can cause the light of a fire to quiver. Shifting subtly, as though nudged by an invisible fingertip. From inside. Is she still awake? A voice. He seemed to be hesitant. It would not be difficult for him to approach the door and peer inside. But he had reservations about peeping in another's bedchambers, even if it was his own. I just always had a ton of the Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z movies. Because there's, I think, back in the day there were 13 movies. Moreover, this room was assigned to a woman. There was a woman behind that door. What do you do, Master, in this situation? Would you succumb to your curiosity and gaze inside? We respect the owner's privacy. I shouldn't be doing this. But the voice... It's calling to... me? Or someone else? Yes, me could sense someone watching me. Moment. It succumbed to his curiosity. He stood on the other side of the door from it, flaxen eyes open wide, trying to remain as invisible as possible. The wavering in his heart seemed to create faint ripple in the air, which I pretended not to notice. Yes, I knew he was there. I could sense his presence and his wavering emotions. However, I could not begin to speculate as to his
bacon fat rub.
As to his true feelings or how great a surprise this was to him. Chicken Darth. It's a visual novel. Fancy dancy one. Hopefully. It's supposed to be spooky. Not quite spooky yet. We're a young man walking down a hallway in a mansion during a thunderstorm right now.
That's just ignorant.
Excuse me. I too am discovering new facets of this tale by viewing it through the eyes of the mansion. It is not I who is of concern, Master, it is you. You and... I know I shouldn't be doing this. It was work for you. I should be ashamed of myself, but I can't look away. Who is that? Her skin, it's so pale you can practically see through it. Is it that white because she was out in the cold rain? She's Welsh. Her hair is white as snow and her eyes, they're like how do I describe it? My vocabulary truly lacks for situations like this. They look like blood? No, that's just disturbing. Then wine, perhaps? No, more translucent than that. Gemstones? Yes, gemstone. Her eyes are like rubies. Never seen anyone like her before. What could they be thinking about? Those eyes were fixed on the peculiar young woman. We got one of our collections. Well, of course you had to. I mean, if you weren't renting... I remember the anime section at Blockbuster. Mind you, this is... what am I now? 20 years ago. You would rent VHSs, and I mean, it was maybe 4 shelves if you were lucky. Oh yeah, and Ghost in a Shell. I didn't like that one. She had glass-like skin. I like the series. I don't like the movie. The old one. Eyes that glimmered in the flickering candlelight, and snow-white hair that flowed like luxurious silk. Her lips are bluish purple. Her soft, delicate skin sullied with grime. Her twinkling eyes pointed down at the floor, and her hair a disheveled mess. Oh, complex. Oh yeah, tons. We were watching. I got him to watch that one with me as well. She was, even at a glance, clearly not a lady of means. Pretty well. How goes it for you, buddy? The tips of her fingers are cracked from the cold, her nails pale from malnutrition, and her garb little more than rags. However, true beauty is always visible, no matter what it may be hidden beneath. Speaking words into my soul, even wrapped in a veil of insalubrity. Even as she thought herself hideous. I wonder what happened to her. Mel could no longer avert her gaze from the girl's visage. He had, for the time being, forgotten the shame he felt for peeping. As he strained his ears to hear the conversation taking place inside, a sickly voice arose from the white-haired girl's purple lips. Feeble was the sound that a gentle breeze blowing through the room could carry it away. Guys, for the trouble. Think nothing of it. Your apologies and thanks to the mistress. Understood. I really lucked out because was it the library by me had a bunch of great ones. We ended up renting Big Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Trigun. There's something strangely comforting about this house, almost as if I've been here before. If my father were here, I'm sure he would be quite fond of it. And Genesis Evangelion, which was weird. I'm sorry about your father. There's nothing you could have done, I imagine. When you came to our rescue, he was already... Rescue? Father? Was that, perchance, what the commotion was about? He stared intently, entranced by the scene unfolding beyond the door. The gaze can often signal one's presence to others more effectively than words. You mean a laser disc? Those... I don't think I've ever experienced Laserdisc. The white-haired girl could likely sense him there as well. She flicked her gem-like eyes upward. Oh, that is kind of cool. The boy finally felt a pang of panic. Going on, Frito. For a split second, his flaxen eyes met her ruby eyes and recoiled from the door. His heart was pounding like the rain outside. But not to make a sound, he took 2 steps away. Did she catch me? I'm not sure. It was only for a moment. Can't have seen me. Boy did not have the courage to peek in on the room a second time, so he cautiously returned to his bedchamber as quietly as he could manage. Yeah, I just grabbed a bunch of the old... Because again, like, where I was at, and I guess Buffalo isn't really the biggest city, but it at least had numerous video rental places because there was no downloading from the internet kind of jazz at that point. You were definitely limited to what you could get there. but walked out with a few of the old animus. But even beneath his covers, he could not erase the girl's eyes from his memory. Her melancholic red irises, her voice, delicate as a glass sculpture, her pale, almost lifeless skin, her pure white hair. Every singular detail kept him from banishing her image from his mind. The Fatal Fury movies were actually kind of fun. Nor could he restrain his heavily pounding heart. I was never a Fatal Fury fan. Who could she be? Except for Mai Shiranui, which I mean everybody's a fan of Miss Shiranui. Very talented young actress. Is something the matter? No, I just thought I felt someone watching us. Okay, hold on, you don't have to yell at me. Gee. Only your imagination, I'm sure. Thanks for letting me know, I appreciate it. If not your imagination, then perhaps some unseen force was watching you. Unseen force? Are you familiar with how people refer to this mansion? Rose Manor. Yes, indeed. It's called Rose Manor because you can smell the sweet fragrance of the rose garden even at a great distance. That is not what I meant. Who's this forever Maid? It is said that a witch resides within the house. I have not heard any such stories. I don't like parodying even in visual novels. It's a stupid thing. You probably wouldn't have. It was a very, very long time ago. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. You have a peculiar presence about you. Do I consider that a compliment? Getting late. You should get some rest. A room has already been set aside for you. But first, may I ask one thing? Yes. I don't believe you have given me your name yet. My name is... L. Didn't they do another? Wake up. Get up, Mel. What? Oh, it's morning. Why do you start out pouty? You disappoint me, dearest Mel. It's very much long since morning. I didn't see you at breakfast, so I came to find out what was the matter. I've really been asleep that long? My father's so lenient on you, dearest Mel. Of course, it is hardly proper behavior for a firstborn son. I know. Before that... Yes, dearest Mel? What are you doing in here? You can't just go prance into a boy's bedchamber. Oh, leave that to the servants. Of course. I did send one for you. You're the one who refused to wake up. Besides, it's not like we're strangers. We used to sleep together all the time. That was long ago. Things are different now. Oh, you're overthinking it, silly. Now hurry up. Out of bed, sleepyhead. Alright, I'm getting up. You can see yourself out. Wow, you look awful, dearest Mel. I don't know where to sleep. You look like you didn't get a wink last night. You think so? You didn't go out on the town last night, did you? Naughty, naughty boy. I would never. You know that. Alright, you got one left. You squeaked. I don't think I believe you. I didn't go out last night or anything. I'm tired because you had me playing cards until late, Nelly. Hey, we weren't playing for that long. Besides, look at me. I got up just fine. Anyway, shoot. I can't get dressed with you here. Fine, I'm leaving. I almost forgot, my dearest Mel. What now? Come on, no need to be mean. I'm sure you'll be quite surprised at the news. Oh? At breakfast, which you missed, Father told us. Do what? You really want to say? It sounds like you want me out of your room, dearest Mel. Oh, you are just made a bitch right now. Please, Nelly. We got a new maid today. From a house we have ties to, supposedly. I've never seen anyone like her before. For supposedly coming from a good family, she isn't very graceful. I have never seen her at any social gatherings. That's not the surprising part. Does that maid... Peculiar. Has a very unusual appearance, that one. Have white hair? Well, how do you know that, dearest Mel? Thanks, Nelly. Hey, get back here. Oh, for goodness sake, what's gone into him? Ha. At the time, the majority of servants at the mansion were men. However, the ladies of the house all had abigails, so there were several women servants. myself included. Okay, and Abigail's a female servant? The maids, by and large, were selected from the daughters of the other esteemed families. It was, you could say, a sort of training before they entered society. The girls would serve at houses even more powerful than their own, and the white-haired girl Mel saw the night before was such maid. When he heard this, Mel couldn't sit still any longer. I didn't really think this through, did I? I don't even know where she is. I'm guessing she's probably Mother's maid. White hair. It has to be the girl from last night. But deep down he was having difficulty believing the young woman he had seen the previous night was truly here to be a servant. And can you blame him? When he saw her, she was an absolute mess. Hardly what you would envision from a girl of class. He didn't seek her out to find out whether that was true. He really wanted to see her once more, to ascertain whether what he had witnessed the previous night was real or his imagination. And he wanted to have an actual conversation with her. I don't want to run into Mother. That'd be awkward. Oh, I thought his shirt was ripped. It's Ivy stuff. He was heading towards his mother's bedchamber, but the closer he drew, the heavier each step grew. He rounded a corner, debating whether or not to head back, and stopped in his tracks. On occasion, wishes do come true. When Mel turned the corner, he saw her, the same girl, that same white hair. She appeared to be cleaning the hallway. He traced along the wooden carving lines of the wall, making certain not to miss even a speck of dust. The girl wore a pristine dress, the uniform of the mansion's Abigail's. There were no longer any filth to obscure her beauty. All that had covered her pure white hair and classic skin was no longer. One thing that had not changed were her listless ruby eyes. Pardon me. Hearing his footsteps, the young woman raised her head. She caught Mel's gaze and for a brief moment merely blinked at him in silence. Lord Mel? Yes? Your father informed me of you. Did he? I guess I don't need to introduce myself then. I believe she made an attempt to smile, though it was difficult to tell, and she quickly dropped her gaze back to the floor. For a second, trance. Wax and Ruby met only for the briefest moments. So far, it's been very tame, where Mel is the boy, and Nellie is his sister, who is not shown. They're a blonde family that lives in a mansion. This is a newcomer that came in the middle of the night. We don't know her name yet. That's pretty much all you missed. He's 17, Nellie is 14. They're kind of finding suitors. So for whatever reason, this girl is now a maid in their place. You seem to be looking at both someone and no one at all. Everyone here has truly the most beautiful color of hair. Did you have business with the mistress, Lord Mel? I can let her know if you would like. My nose is easy stuffed right now. No, I was looking for you. For me? Mel felt as though all the blood in his body began to flow backwards. Well, I mean, if you're gonna quote him, we gotta get him in here.
It's time to do.
He could not effectively describe the sensation, but in a word, it resembled panic. Oh, I don't have to ban you now. On his way to find her, Mel had come up with a number of subjects he wanted to talk about, and he generally had a little trouble speaking with others. He had less experience interacting with women. This was true, but the time he had spent around Nellie had kept him from stumbling too much. Until then. Yes. Why would you be looking for me, Lord Mel? What'd you take over your trance? You've been making me worry. I was wondering how you were doing. Pardon? I've been dying to try this game for I don't know, maybe 2 years now? And visual novels never go over smoothly. But this is supposed to be a horror, psychological, sad story, so what the hell, we'll give it a shot. I'm quite fine. Good, that's great to hear. Cool, Mel. What are you even saying? You have more important things to ask, like where she came from, or to tell her she has pretty fair eyes. I don't want to trouble her too much. Lord Mel? Yes? Sorry, you just suddenly fell silent. Was I, in your way? I was gonna ask, like, what you got lost in. In my way? No, not at all. I don't mean that in a mean way at all. I'm 100% the same kind of person, so... What are you up to? I'm cleaning. Oh yeah, I didn't even need to ask. Ah, you're cleaning. Oh, you can just let the other servants take care of the cleaning. You're one of the noble's daughters we took in, right? Then why is Mother making... No, I'm doing this because I want to. The mistress appeared to be busy, and I could not simply be idle. But I enjoy cleaning. Well, if you say so. Say, yesterday. Yeah, you don't really seem to be enjoying the caster ghost in the third one at all. The mansion is truly a thing of beauty. All the many roses in the garden, even the furnishings has had a great deal of thought put into it. This family must have a wonderful sense of aesthetic. Oh, yeah, thanks. She just changed the subject on me? I'm delighted to have been given the opportunity to serve at such a magnificent house. Mother and father actually had nothing to do with that, not even the garden. That's all been around since my grandfather's time. This mansion was a complete wreck when he bought it. Oh, was it? Yeah, frankly, I'm surprised he actually paid money for it. The chandelier in the foyer was shattered and only half attached to the ceiling. Most of the decoration on the walls were broken. I can hardly imagine. This is marvelous. This is a marvelous, impressive house. I'm sure he'd be flattered to hear it. My grandfather was a bit of an eccentric. He liked to do things people didn't expect just to watch the looks of surprise on their faces. The kind of man who would buy a mansion that was beyond repair just to give it a completely new life. Everyone who had seen the property before it was renovated was astonished. They were going to not take the opportunity themselves, seeing the transformation it underwent. Huh? I was just thinking, you're kind of like this house. What do you mean by that? Well, this guy's smooth. I like it. I mean, when you first arrived... Oh, no, never mind. Forget it. I figure out you were peeping on her, stupid. She hasn't yet, has she? Has? It's nothing. The more I think about it, you and the mansion aren't really comparable. Oh? The truth is, it being a rundown mess isn't the only reason nobody wanted to buy the house. They say that all who dwell within this house shall meet with misfortune. Okay, now we got at least a hint of spookiness. Do you believe it? I'm not looking for jump scares, but I also have no interest in reading Pride and Prejudice to everybody on stream at any point. I'm just kidding. It's not actually true, no matter how good of a book people like it. I want Pride and Prejudice and zombies. Oddly enough, a pretty good movie. I forgot, around that time it was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer was actually a decent movie. I was very, very happily surprised. I mean, it was super corny, the Abraham Lincoln one, to the point where I actually laughed in the theater at a serious moment, you know? But I think it was having fun with itself, so I think it's alright. It's all rumors and hearsay, embellished to make the tale more exciting. The rumors only started because of how it used to look. I didn't even think about that. Are you around by chance? If the mansion truly begot misfortune, then we wouldn't still be here. And it wouldn't explain how my grandfather died. Do you know how he passed away? Did we watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Or Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies? No, how did he? Inside a lovely lady. Wait, did I read that wrong? He died inside of a lovely lady? What? Believe it or not, that was how he died, together with a young, beautiful woman. His time ran out while he was making love to her, they say. Okay, I was right. A rather crude way to go. What are you talking about? That's literally how every person wants to die. Oh, I want to... Exactly! But he was hardly misfortunate. What'd I tell you? Death by snoo snoo. Yes? Just so you know, I promise I didn't inherit my grandfather's propensity for such base behavior. I'm only pure of body and spirit, dedicated wholly to my studies, so... Don't worry about me dying inside of you? Hey, she laughed. My apologies. No, it's fine. This guy is actually kind of charming in a very awkward... Anyway, we were talking about the mansion, right? I've always thought it was kind of a strange place myself. That dress you're wearing, it was found here after my grandfather bought it. We got 2 more movies to add to them. They're actually, I think they're worth watching. You don't see that kind of design around these parts, so I'm guessing it was probably imported. The architecture is really old-fashioned too, which must have caught Grandfather's eye. What? When he announced his plans to buy it, the entire family opposed his decision, but he refused to budge. Renovation upon renovation gave this mansion new life, but of all his work, he was most fond of the roses in the garden, and that young lady. He cried. Lincoln. Vampire. Pride. Just zombies. And what was the other movie? I just forgot already. He collected species from all across the world, and every time he got a new one, he would summon gardeners to arrange and grow them. It took incredibly long to complete. There were even some that wouldn't grow in the climate of this land, but Grandfather refused to give in. He truly loved roses. Me? I don't really get how someone could be so impassioned about them. It's just embarrassing. Every time someone calls this house Rose Manor. Perhaps the roses were meant for someone. What? I'm simply speculating. Why won't you help your grandpa? Yugi. 1 second. Why is my pen not writing correctly? I bought you specifically to write correctly, and yet you refuse. I'm simply speculating. Roses make wonderful gifts, after all. Indeed they do. If you like roses as much as Nellie, then you're welcome to go see them for yourself. As many as you like. If anyone asks, just say I gave you permission. Don't be shy. I'm sure it'll get tiring if all you do is work. No, I'm sensitive to sunlight. Oh, that's unusual. Perhaps that explains why you're so pale. I had no idea. That sounds rough. And your skin is so pretty, too. You don't seem terribly surprised. What? I know, I'm very much surprised. Oh my god, you were not doing a very good job. Or would you have preferred a more dramatic response? Go on, Zero G. No, I expect you to find it disturbing. I'm sensitive to sunlight and can hardly spend any time outside. That makes me sound like some kind of demonic creep. Oh, you worry too much. Not a monster in the world as sweet as you. Yes? Are the other maids teasing you, perhaps? The black-haired ones especially. The black-haired one especially. She's, how should I put it, a little frightening? Almost as if she has a steel heart or something. One says it's great. That's same reason for me too. I just know it's, he's impenetrable. It's up. According to your grandfather. Right, she's one of Mother's maids too, isn't she? I'm even more worried. Since you refuse to follow my instructions, you are henceforth Hellspawn. I can imagine her saying that. Oh, and again. He likes to laugh. I'm very sorry. No need to apologize. In fact, I'd wish you'd laugh more. She's actually very kind to me, and everything she does with incredible precision and efficiency. She looks so young, and yet she has such skill. How long has she been here in the mansion? Actually, she's been here for quite some time, but I don't know exactly how long. Who knows how old she is? It's kind of creepy. I have never once considered her such. Sorry, you're right. It's bad manners to speak ill of others. By the way, she still scares me. It's like there's no light in her eyes, or like her smiles are all faked. Well, what you guys missed, let me get in. Same with you, Zero G. This isn't particularly spoilers, but the maid they are talking about is the one that started the game with us, in which we are reliving these memories because we don't remember anything. And I believe it is present day when the game starts, and now we're back in 1603, give or take a couple years. Either way, she still scares me. It's like there's no light in her eyes, or like her smiles are all faked. Doesn't make her any less pretty, though. And the maid looks exactly the same in the present day. The conversation died. I have to think of something else to talk about. Yes, you can ask me anything. Does the master, your father, Lord Mel, often retire from the mansion? Resource. Oh yeah, I ain't gonna be spoiling shit. I'm just bringing you up to speed for the first 20 minutes you missed. I have not seen him around. Oh yeah, Father frequently returns home. The rest of this shit, if it gets spoiled for you, it's your own fault. This mansion is actually our secondary house. Why do you ask, though? I was just curious, nothing more. Oh? Yes, what is it? One of the maids asked to see me, so I should be on my way, if you'll excuse me. Alright, see you later then. Goodbye. Alright, one moment. If you're sensitive, son, I can pick some roses from time to time for you. For you to decorate your room, Lord Mel. That's all. Sorry for holding you up. Why am I so bad at this? He definitely thinks I'm obnoxious. I want to hide under a rock. I want to reverse time and try this over again. Roses are not becoming of me. He's too kind. So far, I'm kind of digging the artwork too. You have my thanks, Father. I apologize for being late today. Now there's something unusual. You're not being punctual. Maybe next we'll go a whole month without rain. You have mercy on next year's crop smell. So, did something nice happen? Huh? You look like you're in good spirits. Do I? No, nothing. Something did happen, didn't it? It's all over my face, isn't it? I prefer an open book to a face of stone. Oh, it is. People may prefer it, but it's not a good trait to have for social engagement. What? Not the kind of engagements you'll be having anyway. I'm sorry, don't look so dejected. He keeps trying to push us to be a priest. For now, at least, there's nothing wrong with that. Tell me, what has you in such a joyous mood, Mel? You taught me so, Father. Taking on another maid. You know how that goes, right? Someone new comes and things get lively for a while. All the excitement has gone to me, that's all. Oh? Why are you looking at me like that? No reason, no reason. It's not like your grandpa died in another maid or anything like that. Your family has a history of this. So, what family does this little lady come from? Oh, I don't actually know. You don't know? I was going to ask her, but I missed my chance. Mother has returned home, and I can't speak to Mother. I see. She's caught your eye, has she? Yeah, she has. But the truth is, you're more than just interested in her, are you not? Well, no, You truly do enjoy tormenting me. I should be getting home now. Mel. Yes. Make certain you find out where she's from. If you're genuinely interested in her, it's your responsibility to determine if she's actually suitable for you. Thank you, and excuse me. It doesn't matter if she's from an esteemed family or not. No, I'm not in love with her. I'm just interested. This isn't love, no. It couldn't be. This is me we're talking about. Besides, I hardly even know her. Young sire, blessed young sire, alms for the poor. The same beggar as before. Since You look skinnier than last time. I'm gonna have trouble making it through the summer. Should give him something while I still have the chance. You don't hurt me. Alms for the poor, have mercy. For this is all I have to give you. Thank you very much. Blessings upon you. May the Lord bless your soul, young sire. Thanks. I feel bad for him. That's just the way of the world. Very well. It's the second time we gave the beggar money. I don't have a choice in this. So I don't know what that does for the game. The skies are really clear. The sun shone fiercely down on the town that day. As was characteristic of the area, well, cloudy days and rain were frequent during this season, but the sun almost always took the stage the day after the storm. The cathedral standing tall in the center of town, stone-paved streets clacking with the pleasant sounds of footsteps, the people peering out from beneath awnings to look up at the sky. In Mel's eyes, it was as if they were all blessed by a divine light. However, not everyone living in the same land was equally blessed. In fact, the blessed were far outnumbered by the forsaken, even in their time would later come to be referred to as the Golden Age. Elsewhere, back at the mansion, Nellie was causing trouble for the Abigails. On a whim, she had decided to redecorate her bedchamber, so she gathered the maids and put them to work, shouting orders and demands and complaints. And she had not summoned only her personal servants, but others as well, including the white-haired girl. No, not like that. How many times must I tell you? The tapestry goes by the door. I don't like the carpet's pattern. Is there anything else we can change it with? Hey, who put this ugly vase here?
Puff, puff.
Nellie appeared to be rather irritated. It was the servants who bore the brunt of her frustration. Though if they found this similarly vexing, none of them showed it. It was a girl who spoke her mind, a trait particular to that time in history. Women of the Golden Age were so vivacious, in fact, that it inspired parody and satire in foreign countries. But no matter how hands-off her parents were, had Nellie been born a generation earlier or a generation later, Ilka would not have been able to act so free-spirited. That day, however, Nellie did not seem to be her usual self. Though she always spoke her mind, it was rarely she went beyond being childishly adorable. It was unusual to see her in such a foul mood, not even a smile on her face. Rid of it all. The carpet, that chair, the desk, it's all so ugly. Can we have anything better? If we don't, then order it, have it made. You can't do that much, can't you? Or you can't do that much, can't you? Hurry up and replace them. When Oni arrived that morning, the white-haired girl was unsure what she was supposed to do, caught in the middle of a flurry of maids and furniture and fabric. She chased frantically scrambling Abigails with her eyes and made attempts to help, but not being familiar with work, Oni ended up getting in their way. She probably felt that everyone would be better off with her not in the room. Dangerous age. When the maids ordered to get a few furniture made their way out of Nellie's room, she attempted to follow them. I don't know. You hold on a second. Yes, you. You with the white hair. However, Nellie stopped her before she could take her leave. What? The white-haired girl turned back bewildered to find Nellie smiling at her. The corner of her mouth turned up in self-assured grin. There was no trace of timidity or uncertainty in her demeanor. Her flaxen eyes seemed like they would look nice under the light of the sun. Almost the exact opposite of the white-haired girl. I wanted to talk to you, actually. Mother never was one to share. I used her to trade maids, but she wouldn't have it. Trade? You mean for... Which is why I decided to completely redecorate my room, because then I would need some extra hands. But why? Because Mother and Father refused to tell me anything. Why is that? Who are you exactly? Where did you come from? Tell me, what house are you from? Why can't you tell me? If we took you in, you must be from a fairly decent family. As a member of the Rhodes family, I have a right to know. Do I not? You can't expect me to welcome a girl into my home who won't even tell me where she came from. I don't know anything about you. I haven't seen you at any parties. I came from another country. Another country? Somewhere very, very far away. Oh? North of here? East? West? South? South. It's south of here. I crossed the sea to get here, which is why we have never met before. How far did you have to travel then? How many times did the sun rise, and how many stormy nights did you... Innumerable days and nights we sailed, headed even further north. Huh? But tell me. Lady Nellie, this is the most wonderful painting. I had to brush me off. I won't let her get away that easy. Painting? It's in my room, so of course it's wonderful. But that one's especially so. Oh, so adorable. You, Lady Nellie, and Lord Mel. How old were you when it was painted? Huh? Oh, that painting. Goodness, you have a good eye for art. It is magnificent, isn't it? It was done when I was 4 and Mel was 7. You see how we're standing next to each other, holding hands? I was too young to remember it very well, but Mel looks like he was really embarrassed. But standing there like statues makes for a boring painting. I explained brightly. I completely forgotten she was pressed up against the white-haired girl. She did a little twirl, stopping to face the portrait. Though many paintings lined the walls of her room, I was most fond of the one of her and her brother. Two darling siblings, standing side by side, the older brother smiling kindly, the younger sister sweetly tilting her head, her cheeks the color of fresh-picked apples. It was like the very embodiment of their happiness. The painting lays its subjects bare, you know, fortune and misfortune, happiness and sorrow, enshrined on canvas for all to see. Canvas. And this reflection is not merely limited to the point in time it was made either. Did you know, Master, that paintings are alive? They are drawn with a brush over an extended stretch of time, unlike photographs which capture only a singular moment. The two have had their own individual merits, but a photograph is still, while a painting moves. Portraits reveal both the past and the present state of those they depict. Mel and I have always been close. I would sing songs for him, and he would teach me all sorts of things. He's so smart. Nowadays, Mel hardly even goes on walks with me, making excuses like, I'm an adult now. We used to spend a lot of time playing together in the rose garden. You see, our girl normally had difficulty smiling, but her lips naturally curled upward as Nellie reminisced. A vision of two silhouettes probably swelled up in her mind. I imagine there was a faint trace of envy in her heart as well. Lady Nellie, you love Lord Mel quite deeply. Yes, of course I do. Mel's smart, and he's studious, and he's incredibly kind. For my birthday, he gave me this wonderful rose necklace. The jewelry shop he got it from is famous because even the royal family makes commissions from their workshop. So he had to have it ordered in months in advance. Just for me. He's a prince. Oh? Charming, wouldn't you say? But I call him my prince. You know what? Mel is a terrible dancer. And he still hasn't got his feet on the ground yet, and he's so bad at interacting with girls. So there's no one else who would say that about him. He's quite the gentleman. I assumed women would be drawn to him. Gentleman? Have you met Mel already? This morning, briefly. That reminds me, Mel seemed to know about her too. What do you think about Mel? As I said, he's a gentleman. That's not what I mean. I don't think I'll let you get away with putting any funny ideas in his head. What? Mel is too trusting. He's pure of heart, so I won't stand for you trying to take advantage of him. I would never. So you say, but you actually want to get close to him. I wouldn't dream of it, Lady Nellie. He is a man far beyond my reach. You aren't planning on doing anything, are you? Not at all. You don't have any romantic feelings for him, do you? Well, do you? I have no romantic feelings for him, Lady Nell. And you won't develop any? I will not. And with that, Nellie gave a wide, sassified grin. Even though one has no way of knowing how another truly feels, or they might in the future. You wouldn't, would you? When I think about it, there are plenty of other boys. Getting close with Mel is downright absurd. Indeed. But anyways, back to what we were talking about earlier. Your family, I almost forgot. You haven't told me exactly where you came from, or anything about your... Lady Nellie, I brought a new carpet. Just look at the embroidery. The work of a true artisan. I'm simply in love with it. Sure, you'll find it to your liking as well. Oh, you're right. That's a Florentine stitch, isn't it? Or whether someone mimicked the style or if it was imported. Either way, a great find. Let's hurry and get it laid out. Oh, and we'll have to see how the colors go of everything else. I have to finish redecorating quickly so I can show Mel. He'll be so surprised. Wonderful taste you have, Nellie. When the other Abigails returned, so did the bustle within Nellie's room. As the white-haired girl watched, a faint smile crossed her lips. It was from relief at having escaped Nellie's inquisition. Or perhaps... We're gonna consume her soul. Ah, Nellie, I'm back. You eat something you're not supposed to, dearest Mel? You're unusually cheerful. I'm the same as always. Anyway, never mind that, dearest Mel. Take a look at my room. I redecorated today. Well, that's what you've been doing, hiding away in the house all day, Nellie. How is that any different than what we're doing? You were in church all day. I guess. I'll look at your room, I promise, but first, do you know where that new maid is? Oh, that was the wrong... Now, don't get any strange ideas. I just haven't had the chance to introduce myself when I thought I should as a member of the family. Except you have, and I know it. Being the eldest son, it would be shameful of if she were to pass me in the halls not even knowing who I am, so... Don't ask me. What? But you were in the house all day. She attends to Mother, so why would I know where she is? Though she did help redecorate my room. Made her help? That works for the men servants. There's no reason to make the maids do it. Oh, so you're saying I should invite a bunch of men into my room? You enter your room all the time, Nellie. You were just in my bedchamber just this morning. Only one man is allowed in my bedroom, dearest Mel, and that is you. Unless you become a servant, which we will not stand for, we will not ask any of them for help. Oh, Nellie, got to be a little more... what? If you're going to lecture me, I won't hear it. What am I going to do with you, my little lady? What? Why are you looking at me like that? We talked about you, dearest Mel. I'm not going to tell you what she said. About me? What did she say? I literally just said I'm not going to tell you. Please, Nellie. She said she has no romantic interest in you. What? Why did that even come up? Because we're both girls, we talk about things like that, like what kind of boys we like and who's the most handsome. Why do you look so downtrodden, dearest Mel? You look like a sad old boy who can't get his crush to notice him. This is unbecoming of a prince, Mel. You're interested in her? Strange, you haven't even met. I am not. It's just depressing to find out that someone you've never even met doesn't like you. I forgot who. I actually asked, because that was an issue I had. A buddy of mine, who I worked with, a longtime friend of mine, might have had a crush on me, which is fine. Anyways, her boyfriend hated me because of that. I'm like... And then I got bad vibes from him, so I'm like, are you allowed to hate someone you've never met because they hate you? Or dislike them, you know? That's all. If I'm not going to make my move, I must do so soon. I don't have much time. The master of this house isn't around, so next in line would be him. That painting. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I think I told a couple of the stories about was the same girl who... He was the dude who fought me in the bar. It was like my only bar fight ever. And ended up... He broke his clavicle in 2 spots. That's how I cut my hand open. When I had to redress their friend. With the bloody handprint. Despite his near devastation by Nellie's news, Mel's flaxen eyes continued to wander in hopes of catching sight of the girl. By now, it should be quite obvious to you what Mel was feeling. Yeah, we eventually became buddies. After that fight, I think. But the boy himself was having difficulty comprehending the things going through his heart. Emotionally, he was horribly unstable, like a ship without a sail. And still, every time he spotted the white-haired girl, his heart would leap, his whole body jitter with anxiety and excitement. Never felt anything like this before, and as such, he struggled to keep these strange emotions. Whenever he saw an opportunity, Mel would speak to the white-haired girl. In days he was unable to, he either spent in secluded silence or distracted days. Love is a curious thing, the power to change those who experience it. When he did manage to approach her, he tripped over his tongue. Again and again he talked to her, again and again he stumbled. Imagine, if you were to take him to see a romance at the theater in his present state, he would cry just as much as little Nellie. We cry at tragedies because we draw parallels with our own lives. At least, that's what I think. Great tales of romance attain true gravity with the audience only when they are personally familiar with love. Nat Clayton. What's going on? What's going on, Hookshot? How you doing? Welcome, Raiders. I'm Kenner OAG. Usually a player of JRPGs of the PSX era. But currently, during Spooktober, we are doing a visual novel called The House. How's it called? I'm playing this game. The House in Fata Morgana. What were you playing? As I went over your shoutouts, I appreciate the shout in the event. In any event, the white-haired girl was, as a result, visibly perturbed. She was delighted that he was being so kind to her, but confusion overpowered every other emotion. She appeared to be at a loss for what to do as he clumsily catapulted words and stares at her. Mel did not back down, though he probably knew not what caused such fiery emotion to erupt from within his breast. One's first love, in particular, tends to burn like a wildfire. Are you familiar with the sensation, Master? Oh? How was your stream? Good time, I hope? There she is. Is she cleaning? No, it looks like she's reading. It's now or never. That was a foe, I appreciate it. Final Fantasy 14, I'm sorry. Oh no, please. All I care about is people having fun in games. Oh! Why would we spook her? See, this is where the horror part in this game comes into. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Lord Mel. You very clearly meant to scare me. Because you just wouldn't notice me. What are you reading? You look pretty engrossed. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have asked for permission. It's fine, no need to apologize. You're free to read whatever you want, and you're welcome to bring books back to your room if you'd like to spend more time with them. But I was just amazed that the mansion had a library. It must have been a lot of work to collect all these books. This is taking place in the 1600s. There are some pretty old books in here too. Early 1600s. Your grandfather's? Some that he collected, and some even older than that. Take a look at this. I think it's a diary, but it's not from this country. This century, for that matter. Maybe a feudal lord? Here, he's complaining about the quality of the harvest. In this forsaken land only produce over sour grapes. Only the largest of the, Barney? Or maybe Barnier? Only the largest of the Barnier estates were mine instead. The land there is much more suitable to cultivation. Actually kind of fun. I grew up north, and Niagara-on-the-Lake is pretty much where ice wine came about, and it was because the grapes froze. And it produced a almost sickeningly sweet kind of wine. There you have it. You can read this, Lord Mel? More or less. Looked over it several times already, so that wasn't too difficult. It's a very nice dessert wine, which I'm not a big fan of desserts, so like I don't mind a port or a nice wine as like my dessert, you know, instead of a piece of cake. Why would such an old book be here? I'm not sure. It and all of this was already here when I moved into the mansion. Have you not lived here your whole life? I was born at our estate. But to me and Nellie, this is more like our home. It was one of my favorite things, although they would serve it warm. I was cool with. But it was like they had a really nice 15 and I think 20-year-old port. I have no idea. Race car, that's a full house, buddy. We moved when I was still young, and we lived here ever since. But yeah, so far I've been digging the, what's going on, Gamer Tragic? I've been digging the music in here, Hookshot. It's been very interesting. I still don't really understand the game. Because like I said, it's supposed to be a horror, psychological horror game. But there's been nothing particularly spooky about it yet. But it could just be a nice build-up. I'm about 2 hours in. And so far the art and the way in which the dialogue flows is nice. They're not bombarding you with like obtuse words from the 1600s, thank God. Like, I don't have to mention flying buttresses at all times or anything goofy. Learn Nellie's obsession. Yeah. But thankfully that hasn't gotten creepy yet, you know? Like, as far as I know, it doesn't get that kind of creepy. But who knows? There's no voice acting in the game, so the maid, Mel, Nell, the other maid, any other maids, they all have this same exact voice. So you gotta deal with that. But otherwise, what can you do? Alright, I'm gonna go grab myself something to drink because my throat's starting to get raw, and I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes.
That's what I kept from looking at chat. Damn it, Angry.
Oh, thank Bob. I thought I wasn't muted. My throat is just really... Or my nose is a little clogged. We're a pretty darn big sneeze. This ain't no one want to hear that kind of stuff. It always like freaks me out. The whole like streaming thing, because some people are super open to a lot of weird things. Like I do my best not to belch and any bodily functions. You don't need to hear that kind of shit. No pun. I don't appreciate that. Alright, we moved when I was still young and we lived here ever since. Nellie and Mother have grown quite fond of it. Father, though, often goes back to the house because he doesn't like all the roses. Thank you for letting me know about that. By himself? Yeah, well, sometimes Mother goes with him. But for the most part, he goes alone. Don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't get along. In fact, they act more like teenagers in love than grown adults. It almost makes me sick having to watch it. I mean, how much is... It's a wonderful thing to be so close, no matter how old they may get. Ooh, but still, there are those in the world who cannot be ones they care for, as much as they may wish. I'm sorry about that. Right, the book. Which I gotta tell you, not to be all like lovey-dovey and stuff in this, but I grew up in, my family's restaurant that we own for multiple generations, 70 years, give or take a few. And there were a couple old couples that still sat side by side on the booths, and it's super cute. There was nothing wrong with that at all. What were you reading? Wasn't exactly reading. I do enjoy reading lots of text, so I was looking at the pictures. Is that so? You seem very cultured, but I thought you would be partial to reading. Perhaps you're actually more like Nellie and eschew your studies? Yes. I wouldn't have guessed. You like looking at pictures? I do. Yeah. What else do you like? Reading for the articles. What? Enjoy doing. It can be anything. I enjoy being told stories. Stories? Yes, when I was young, my father would tell me tales. What kinds of stories did you like? There was one about an imprisoned girl. Tell it to me. I don't know how this bedtime story is going to go off. Once there was a girl, and she was locked away in a mansion deep in the forest. A mansion with only one window. The window sat high up on the wall, far beyond her reach. It was always very dark inside, unlike this mansion. However, the girl did not like the outside world. There were lots of scary things out there after all. Though she may have been all alone in the mansion, she grew comfortable with the darkness in time. She had nothing to be afraid of. And then, am I doing a good job? Not now, you stopped. You're doing fine. Go on. What happens next? Relax your throat. Okay. And then the girl grew up. By then, she had already forgotten why she was locked up. But she was content with the darkness. However, her eyes couldn't help but be drawn to that little bit of light that spilled through the one window. Though she was comfortable in the darkness, the sight of the light made her heart race. At first, the girl thought it was because she found it unpleasant. Because she disliked the light and the outside. But slowly she came to realize she was curious about the outside world. What could be happening out there? For all she knew, the town, the forest, the people, all of it could have changed while she was imprisoned in the mansion. She had no way to find out. So the girl decided to write letters and throw them out the window. It began as an empty grasping and became routine, continued for several months until she was finally ready to give up. But then, a beautiful white dove flew in through the window. Tied to the dove's leg was a letter. Her heart racing, she read the words contained within. It seemed to be written by a man. He paid the fine of 3,000 gold for littering. The letter contained numerous questions for the girl. It is also said that she attached a reply to the dove that would bring the letter back to him. It was astonished. Oh god. What else would have been? Sorry, like ruining the moment. We're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Go down, Carbon Knights. Welcome, Raiders. Kenner OAG, currently reading The House in Fata Morgana. The shout on the defense. It is supposed to be a gothic psychological horror visual novel. She was astonished, but she wrote him back anyway, to care not to mention where she was. What were you guys playing? Wait, what does it say? They were us playing Honey, I joined a cult. After having exchanged letters a number of times, the two felt very close to one another, as though they had known each other for many years, despite having never met. And eventually the man said he wanted to meet her? Indeed. The girl was unsure what to do. Could she tell him of how she lived? Thank you for doing all that, Zero G. I can't see it, so very happy. Did she reveal where she spent her days? He was afraid if she did, he would cease to send her letters. Prisoner about building a cult. He was sure he believed her to be a young lady of noble blood. I have no idea what any of that's like, but I mean, you also were playing a beaver game. You play some interesting games. And not a girl locked away in the house deep in the forest. I pretty much only play Fortnite. So, the girl could not bring herself to write a response. All these games are new to me. She released the dove through the window with nothing attached to her leg. And yet it returned with another letter, written in the man's familiar hand. You must surely have a grave reason for your silence, it said. I would like to know that reason, and I would like to help you. No matter what it may be, you have my word. Separated. Though his letters were kind, she did not know this man. He was from the outside. Would he still treat her the same way when he met her? And did she even want to step out into the world beyond? What do you think she did? Wrote a letter and agreed to meet him, right? Yes. The girl made up her mind. She would write a letter. As always, when she tied it to the dove's leg, it flew off onto the window. And for some time after, she received no response from the man. This saddened her, but she thought it was for the best. She belonged in her own confined world, her world of darkness. Plot twist. The man is actually the dove. Then one day, light shone into the mansion. The sealed door had been opened, and in the doorway stood a handsome young man. I've come for you, he said. The man was a prince from a neighboring kingdom. When the girl stepped outside, before her sat a magnificent carriage, the likes of which she had never seen, accompanied by many servants. The prince, kind as in his letters, swore his love for her, and the two lived happily ever after. That's the end? Ah, what a nice story. I'm glad it had a happy ending. A prince. Was there something funny about the story? Oh no, that's not why I was laughing. You ever imagine what it would be like if a prince showed up for you? Huh? It doesn't have to be a real prince. Someone like one. That's something you dream about? Oh, no, I think I'm perhaps a little too old for that. You think so? Nellie still fantasizes about her prince, and she's 14. Assumed all girls were the same. Lady Nellie's prince, that's you, Lord Mel, no? What? Is it not? I mean, we used to play make-believe a lot when we were kids, but I very much doubt she still thinks of me that way in earnest. When she calls me a prince now, it's mostly in jest. If it weren't, that would be concerning. Oh? That story, do you know if it's a regional tale? One that's been passed down through the ages? Not sure. It could very well be one of my father's own creations. You might think me conceited, but I think the story might be about me. The girl trapped in the mansion is you? You haven't been locked up anywhere before, have you? Wait, are you into this? No, thankfully. I've never been locked up before. Thank goodness. With an appearance like mine, I can sympathize with her being afraid of the outside world. I have at times imagined how wonderful life would be if it were only me and my father. Wait, when was sunscreen invented? Come on, Google. When was sunscreen invented? Because I dated a girl from Welsh, 1938. Franz Greuter. Remember while climbing Mount Pisgah. And I know for a damn fact she couldn't exist without sunscreen. You could see through her. But the girl left the house in the end. If your father really wrote that story, then I believe it contains his hope for you to end up the same way. Oh? What it takes to be a real prince and whiskey away, but at least pretend. So, if it was your father's wish for you to see the outside world, surely there's nothing wrong with you getting out and experiencing all the scenery that world has. has to offer. I want to see the outside too. To be more specific, other countries. So, if you'd like, we maybe go see distant land together? Ah, dearest Mel, I've been looking all over for you. Oh, you cockblock. Nelly! Look at this, dearest Mel. Mother bought me these wonderful gloves to wear on walks. The roses embroidered on the wrists are just precious. Oh my, you're right. They are beautiful. That's it. You're out of the Whoa Nelly's things, Ghost. You appear to be dizzy, Lord Mel. Are you feeling unwell? No, I'm fine. But you use them well. That's a very... Mel was feeling frustrated at his inability to convey his feelings to her. That's like a far stretch. Like, wouldn't you ask the person to tee or to like hoop pushing? I don't know what the hell they did back in the 1600s before asking him to travel the world with you. As his frustration built up over time, he developed, I suppose you could call it, a severe case of love sickness. For several consecutive nights, he had been afflicted with a peculiar sensation. At his age, it's natural. A presence in his bedchamber. Okay, that's not natural, though. Death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. What? Kill. She's... Why, I never wanted her to die. Was she not eating? Seal off the tower. Understood, no one finds out about this. How can you be so calm? Don't you understand what you've done? Ah, putting the blame on me? How nice it must be to be able to distort reality with panic. You're just as guilty as any of us. I never wanted her to die. The witch killed. The blood of the witch killed my... Oh, so maybe the story was about her? And she showed up malnourished and everything. A dream? What was that dream? It was horribly unsettling. I was holding someone, a girl I cared for dearly, in my arms, and she was limp. Rather than her holding you and you being... It was almost as if she were dead. I've been having a lot of really unpleasant dreams lately. Can't stop shaking. Why would I have such a dream? Sick. Back to sleep. But I wonder who was that girl? Who the hell announces back to sleep? And since someone's standing beyond my door. Someone there? It's like they're watching me. Is it just my imagination? I can't move. What do you want? Go away. The sound is growing fainter. Must have been something you said. Is that truly what your story meant, Mother? Magnificent. We could never have had. Are my intentions misguided? Get some rest, Doc. What a beautiful white rose. Thank you for popping in. You know, you could have snuck into his room rather easily then. Sneaked. No one was watching. How long have you... Well, you didn't pay me any mind. I shall not condemn you, no matter what you might do. Rather, I'm on your side. Actually, now that I see the hole, I want to hit triangle, but I also don't want to screw the game up. Like, one of the buttons has to work where it takes away everything. Not triangle. L1? Oh, it's a sex. Yeah, you can see her hair. Almost reminds me of like Valkyrie. Planet. I was not going to do anything. Oh, is that so? And perhaps you were out for a late night stroll. I imagine you have less difficulties going outside at night. I beg your pardon? I will return to the mansion immediately. Oh yes, that reminds me. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I'm sure you would have heard about it. Oh? Although, was Gamesh imprisoned? Dear me, I'm having trouble remembering. Worry not, if you wish for it, the mansion shall provide. There's no danger whatsoever of getting caught. You said that a witch lives in the mansion, did you not? I did. Does that sound perhaps a bit archaic to you? Those rumors mockingly refer to me. Oh my. I've been accused of being a witch before. Accusing. Witch, isn't it? I don't have any magical powers. I simply have an unusual appearance. Hi, what a lovely shade of red. Rose. Is something the matter? This rose. Rose was white. No, I took it into my hand. Is that so? Apologize, I must sound mad. I'm sure I was just mistaken. It couldn't possibly have changed. Wonder. Yes? The girl locked in the mansion become a princess? What? We should lock up and head to bed. All the shutters are closed nice and tight, and then draw the bar on the front door. Burn the witch! Well, the other maid is definitely something weird because she's been alive for 400 something years so far. Maybe she juices. She has a juicer. Did they have juicers back in the 1600s? I don't think so. Maybe not. Slowly but surely, time trekked onward, everyone working towards their own individual goals. Each early summer breeze that blew through the garden was like God's hallowed breath carrying the flowers' fragrance in through Rose Manor's windows. If only time could be stopped, and this beautiful era made to live on through eternity. As usual, Mel's eyes chased after the white-haired girl, and Nellie pursed her lips in frustration at him. She was still rather docile. Even taking into account how self-centered she behaved, how fickle her temper, Nellie's fits were still no worse than a playful kitten. At that very moment, our lively little feline had her claws poised to swat at the flaxen-haired young man. Now you promised me, or have you forgotten? She needs to calm her shit. I haven't forgotten. I'm just asking if we can go on another day. Another day? This isn't something that happens every day. I've been looking forward to tonight's performance for so long. There's nothing I can do about that. We're having a gathering at the priest's home tonight. Several high-ranking officers have come up from the mainland just for this. Who cares? I care. You know, Nellie, it doesn't have to be me who goes with you. I want to go with you, Mel. You've been so distant lately, dearest Mel. You refuse to do anything with me. It's not true. Tell me, if you can't go today, when can you? When will you be willing to go with me? Be willing to play cards with me, to have tea together? I can't make any promises. I have things to do, obligations. And Nellie, you're almost an adult yourself, like such a child. I'm not an adult yet, I'm still a kid. It means I don't get to play with you anymore, dearest Mel. I don't want to be an adult. Nellie, you can't. Lady Nellie, the master wishes to speak with you. Huh? Father does? What could he want? Go on, Nellie. Make Father wait. You can't make Father wait. He's very particular about keeping their appointments. Got L. M. You gotta do the Nellie voice. Ghost? I would recruit you to be the maid. Yes, he is. Like you, dearest Mel. For the cat girl inside of you to come out a little bit. I'm in such a foul mood. Oh, thank goodness for small miracles. Nellie just won't seem to take me at my word lately. You mustn't be so harsh on her. She is your one and only, darling little sister. You're right, but still, she's taken it a bit too far of late. Oh, I'm not so sure. I hope my nose clears up, because I am having a little bit of a struggle bus time. She does not seem to be behaving any differently to me. Am I the one acting differently then? Well, enough about that. Can I ask you for a favor?
Struggle bus over here. Beep beep.
What are the odds? Me? What can I do for you? I was thinking... Physically, Mel was undeniably a young man, but the smirk that crossed his lips as he schemed gave his face the sweet look of a little boy. Or perhaps that was simply part of his charm, and it was not the age disparity but his character that made him smile so heartwarmingly. Or made him smile so heartwarming. What did he ask of me? We shall find out soon enough. I gotta figure out if I can stream this through the Discord to you, then and I would be more than happy if you wanted to play. Howdy. I know you've been skipping out on the reading Ghost. And thank goodness for that too. Oh, it would be even better. How is this deep? If it were even darker out, I believe the textile shop was around here. Ah, hi there. Lord Mel. Fancy meeting her. Yeah, because like my first, I'm trying to think what. Because you said you were kind of going a little on the story light game, but that's what happened to me in the beginning of the month. I played a bunch of games where I didn't get to read at all, which kind of bugs me. I like the more story heavy stuff. It's like weird going from Xenogears to play Until Dawn where I didn't have to do anything. And I suck at like reactions. It's like people getting ripped apart, it's like whatever. Not real, you know? Yeah, what a surprise. So, what do you say we take this chance and go for a little walk? Since you're sensitive to sunlight, we can keep our eyes out for shadowy areas as we go. And if you feel unwell, just let me know. I was sent out to run an errand. Don't worry about that. Come on, follow me. Well, let me see how it goes out tomorrow. If you guys are both available, or if anyone's available, I have no problem reading with people. I'm sorry. It, actually wasn't an accident that we crossed paths. I planned this out ahead of time. I asked to have you sent out on a fake errand. Feels like I'm always on alert back at the mansion. Can't relax in my own home. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, that was inappropriate of me. I just thought since the sun's mostly blocked out, it'd be alright if... I'm feeling just fine. Of course, I get her out of the house, and I can't even think of anything to say. Hey, yes? Have you settled into life at the mansion? I have. Everyone has everyone has been such a big help. It's good to hear. I'll check the clip afterwards. Indeed. So, yes? Nellie told me she had you help redecorate her room some time back. Ah yes, that was shortly after I arrived. What of it? I'm missing the time frame, like I don't know how many days or weeks or months have gone by. Yeah, that day, Nellie told me that you don't... Never mind, sorry, it's not important. It is important, but I just ask how it feels about me. That would make me sound like a... I forget sound like I do, don't I? Lord Mel? Oh, sorry. Something on my mind. It looks like it might rain again today. The weather usually gets better as summer approaches, not worse like it has been. It won't be a heavy storm. No. The wind is too gentle. You can tell from that? Vaguely, but yes. Oh, that's impressive. I often leave the house unprepared, only to find myself sloshing back in the rain. You laugh a lot more than you used to. Do I? Yeah, and I like that. You look better with a smile on your face. The smile suits Lady Nellie much more than I. What? Her smile and your smile are completely different. Also, a smile suits you as well, Lord Mel. Oh. Do you really think so? If they touch hands, like I'm gonna have to cut the stream. I didn't know I was gonna be reading you hardcore visual novels here. What am I supposed to do in the face of a smile like that? So, yes? Knowing her, If I ask if I'm imposing, she'll say no without hesitation. Trying to cover myself isn't going to get me anywhere. Oh, like what the fuck happened? Hold on a second. I never did get you those flowers like I promised. There was a single white rose blooming in the garden. I was planning to give it to you, but it disappeared before I had the chance. So, I'd like you to have this. It's not a real rose, but it won't wilt either. Mel was holding an ornamental white rose. It was an impressively detailed replica of the real thing, crafted by an incredibly skilled artisan's hand. It was, I imagine, made by the same craftsman from whom Mel had ordered Nellie's birthday necklace. The young man, who had but a handful of days earlier had said he had no sweetheart, had come in to commission a present for a girl. The master of the shop must have been quite surprised. Perhaps it had given him a good laugh instead. This moment, that he was so desperately sought for time together with the white-haired girl. I don't know what you like, so I had to base it on my sister's taste. My apologies, I cannot accept this. Is the design not to your liking? No, I just... If you're concerned about how much I paid for it, don't be. I just want you to have it, that's all. Please. Why are you so kind to me? Because... I'm sorry, I can't accept it. A clear glint of flustered panic was visible in her red eyes. There is not a girl in the world whose heart would not flutter at the sight of the sparkling rose accessory. Her reactions was far from delight. As a matter of fact, there were traces of fear and apprehension in her countenance. I beg your pardon. Hold on. With a look of distress on her face, the white-haired girl made to run off, but Mel grabbed her by the arm in the nick of time. At least tell me why. Is it because you dislike me? I never said... Something's wrong with me. From the day you arrived at the mansion, it's like I haven't been myself. I've been strangely aflutter ever since then. Whether I try to study or whether I try to read, none of it sticks. I'm just looking at pages of text, tracing rows of letters only for them to disappear as soon as I look away. It's all because of you. I truly am sorry. Please, don't be any more generous than you already have. When I'm with you, my willpower wavers. What do you mean by that? Oh, sorry. He's a vampire! Ah, wait. Mel's grip loosened for a moment, allowing her to slip free and dart off like a gust of wind, not giving him a chance to stop her a second time. The dumbfounded flaxen-haired boy stood frozen in place, left all by himself. The breeze, which the white-haired girl had called gentle earlier, felt faintly chilly, almost as if mocking him. It looks like he's even less fond of me than I thought. I'm crying. Pathetic. Well, if it isn't Mel, what might you be? Are you crying? So pitiful. Or you had to see this. Think nothing of it. I passed by a girl just a few moments ago. She appeared to be rather distressed as well. Something happened between the two of you.
I'll fight all you bitches today.
That wasn't good enough, it seems. Not good enough? That was the new maid I was telling you about before. I was, like said Father, I was keen on her, quite. Enough to bring me to tears like a miserable child. But she rejected me. I don't even what it takes to be a stand-in print. Mel, I apologize for complaining to you about this. I'm completely helpless. Please don't try to cheer me up. I don't need any sympathy. I just... Oh, Mel, listen to me. What? I've seen that girl before. What do you mean? You said she was a servant at your house, right? In which case... If she is, please tell me, Father, where did you see her? Why must you be so evasive? It was... probably someone else? Someone else? You're saying you mistook someone who stands out as much as her? Yeah. Father, she and a man who I assume is her father paid a visit to the church one. They came asking for food. Their clothes in tatters. They were emaciated. I don't think they were eating daily. Wait a minute, are you saying he's a beggar?
I think he has a problem with the fact that I have no nipples.
That might be an issue that comes up at some point in this, I'm not sure. But Father said she came from an esteemed house. Which is why I said I might be mistaken, Mel. It's a singular aspect. But it is possible there is another girl who looks similar. Deep down, though, the priest surely believed the opposite, and so he said sternly, like a teacher to a pupil. But you must be absolutely certain, Mel, understood? You cannot proceed any further without knowing her ancestry. May I visit the church, Father? By all means. In the back of Mel's mind, a vision of the night of the storm, the night the white-haired girl arrived at the mansion, was surely replaying. She had been wearing little more than rags and covered in grime, hardly the appearance of a respectable young lady of class. Have I been putting her through unnecessary stress? She actually turns out to be nameless, to be rankless. No matter where she comes from, my heart has decided. I will not fool myself about how I feel any longer. Oh, I cannot fool myself. How does she feel? What will everyone else think? I have to find out why she was welcomed into our house. Well, ask mother or father. No, if for some reason they don't know she is an aristocrat, I'm better off not saying anything. If they don't, then does that mean she's been lying to them? To find out, this time I must get answers. No, absolutely not. You come back and the first thing you say is that? I hate you, Father. I will not stand for this. Why? Why would you just suddenly throw that on me? Even ask for my opinion. I won't do it. I'm fine the way things are. I'm just fine. No, I need your help. I don't want to get married. Alright, I get the Pride and Prejudice thing, but I need the and zombies part at some point here, Halloween game. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. My hands were full dealing with my immediate day-to-day tasks. I could do naught but pray there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. I am but a mere maid. Ghost is not a mere maid, okay? There are limits to what I'm allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. I actually turned it down a little bit, Lyra. It bothers me as well. Roads, such as the ones we were following, have a way of diverging with little warnings. And if you do not turn the wheel exactly right after those sudden forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact. No. Which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Steps. You're looking down at me? I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Jesus. You're gonna leave without doing anything, aren't you? And hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down on me? My neck. What? I can't speak. I can't move. These cold fingers. That soft breath. Oh. Why? I can't move my body, but that's important right now. Smell of roses. Scent of a world far removed from ours. He made a gasp at the sight before him, only realized he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of his ability to breathe. Why? He suddenly mouthed the word, for the moment at least. Her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower and continuously burning agitation that roused her to action. I told you to stop being so kind to me. Why? It will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise. To put an end to this family, you are my only... Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. But he did not shout, nor tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit. Like, why don't you pull my hair too? I'm not shaking. You are, I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice too grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You are not going to do this because you genuinely want to. There is some other reason. This is what I desire. You've been to my room before? You have. Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck. Why haven't you run? I can't fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. You hate me so deeply you want me dead? You despise me to the point you would be willing to take my life with your own hand? No, don't. Hey, like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me, why is it? I'm sorry, I'll leave your room now. I'll do my best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything ever happened. Do you think I'm just going to say okay and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason? Sorry. Alright then, I'll try and guess. What? It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow, am I right? So, how do you know about that? The priest at the church told me that he'd seen you before. He also told me a little about your origin. That's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please tell me who you really are, why you came to this mansion, and why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. I want to. I won't get mad at you or have you punished. I even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisked you away. Like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you. Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck. Why? That would be obvious. It's my kink. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. Every time you push away, it crushes me. I even know my heart could feel such distress. If you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then, well, I'll just have to live with it. Much as it may hurt. If you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me. I want to help you. There are other options. Things we can do about your... No, that's not it. Huh? I've tried to hate you so many times. Yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it. What do you mean? I had so many chances. I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. Fragile, Chris looking down on him, that it seemed as though if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling. He had tried to squeeze them again, but failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes affixed on her, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you. And I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please, tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mel. For someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest of all is myself. you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched for just the briefest moment. They appeared in the darkness as though they had fused together. The writer girl, having finally gathered her courage, began slowly to tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot. It was only recently that we heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. I often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting. So after living in one place long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, while finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. He was no longer able to find work in a city, he would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That's when we learned of Rose Manor, and we dwelled within it. Rhodes is a name my father could never forget. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family. Hold on, your father was an artist here? Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember, Lord Mel. So you knew about us before you came here? For as long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted. Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as a good reputation spreads, so does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. Nobles throw your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give me is an example of that. It's certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. He was a talent that could not be easily imitated. But no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father. Even thrown out into the streets, his only skill was painting. It was all he could do to earn a living. The little money we had for food he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms, ran his fingers through my hair, and an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making my life so hard. Even though it's not his fault, I look like that. I disdain the Rose family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagine you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. You wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our eyes meant nothing to you. So I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's why you tried to kill me? In truth, I'd wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so, you're right, if they lost me, it would put my family in a very difficult position. That is the whole of my tale. You now know about my father and how I feel about you. Having told you the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment. Why? Why would you have put the one I love through any more misery? I am not fit for your affection, only because I am not an aristocrat, because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart. Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's action that caused you so much suffering. Would that your father were still alive, perhaps I could have done something. Sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. Why am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? If it's because I've given you enough reason, if it's to have even the slightest bit of interest in me. Nothing was as I envisioned it. What? I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised is not the right word, as many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. That was Mother's doing. I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was. I had never met any of them before, so she must simply be a kind-hearted of a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness, despite my disquieting appearance and darkness. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? The certain fact that my father was here, that he had been chased out. I decided I should take your life, put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then... you were too kind to me. It's all your fault. Because you laugh with such affection, because you give me smiles like that, because you say the things you say. I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. I'm so happy to hear that. Despite the unusual circumstances. Don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I can't do anything for your father, but at least let me do something for the daughter he cared for so dearly. You're kind-hearted. I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat. Huh? There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future. Are you saying, as long as you're okay with that, of course? I don't understand. How could you possibly say that? My hands are on your neck even as we speak. It seems reasonable enough to me. I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? I told you. You can learn all of it. You're pretty and naturally graceful. Such an aristocrat, Lord Mal. What? The way you can come up with compliments so easily. Only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. He laughed. Thank goodness. Keep smiling. You don't have to stop. The smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe. People are capable of forging their own futures. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seated in the far end of the second floor, so we don't have to stand. It'd be pretty lavish seats, and it would give you a chance to experience the noble life. But don't be shy. We have clothes prepared for you. Ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. The one with black hair? Kinda scares me, though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So show such compassion for me. I tried to inflict harm upon you. Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That's how it has to be. So stand by my side. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped his arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Approached me the next day. Explained to me the course of, and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever been. Already a very pretty girl, so even without much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that it would lead to their happiness. I could not have asked for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all. Well, that was a good twist. We got our home dog Nellie there. Now, Nellie, you love the theater, so don't look so cross.
I'm all you bitches today.
Nellie was out with a man other than her brother that evening, a rare sight indeed. He was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. Should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. Oh, it's unthinkable. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiancé, selected by her parents. On the other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any other man who was not Mel. She had little to say in the matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. No, how fiercely she had fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out of the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to, for what it's worth. What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I'm on my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you do is be a little kinder to me. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours or mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? Maybe private, but even so, we'd rather just have a show put on at my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I? Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to her, to father as many times as I must. Please don't make such a shameful. There are people around. Remember, you represent your family. Besides, our family are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you break this engagement. You don't. Your parents gave you too much freedom. And look at what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse. No, you're the one on a high horse, Nellie. Oh, Nellie. You're going to be my wife. You could at least put some effort into liking it. A bit overpowered sometimes. I'll give it a check afterwards. I'm looking at the bars right now and I am much higher than it. So, we'll see. Because, I mean, I've literally had this set up for the last year. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. It's coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie. What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll gladly call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk to me that way? You're not a damn princess. Open your eyes. You think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage? You're welcome to try. I doubt he'll have it, though. Otherwise, you can just go complain about it to your friends. Well, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough. As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know. If father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. We'll be able to convince him. Come on now. Your favorite play is about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. What? Is that... Wait, Nellie? Get back here. What was that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. I'd be sure to hear about this. They have the roads making any more of a fool of me. You're fine, don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you that's not the case. It is true you have an unusual appearance. Right now, the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. You sound like a prince, Lord Mel. You think so? I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in prince for you, but... I think you're a wonderful prince, not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... You're supposed to say, yes, I am, there. You're going to make me sad. I guess I'll have to keep working at it until you submit. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there is one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, Maybe wake me up. Yo, what happened? Ah. What? Dearest Mel. And I think we'll end up finding out what our little lady Nellie has to yell at him for tomorrow.